You get your snake away from me. Sweet. Oh, I just spilled coffee all over my face.
Hi there folks, welcome back to the Ieva and Andy fishing channel. It's Andy and coming back at you with a really important video. This one's going to be the first in a series that Ieva and I are going to be doing for you guys. We want to do some really focused lure reviews for you. There's a whole world of predator fishing lures out there on the market and it can be really complicated. It can be really difficult to figure out what to buy first, what works, what doesn't, how you should fish it. So that's what we're going to try and cover. As regularly as possible, we're going to release these lure reviews for you so we can show you the newest lures on the market, show you how they work and give them a rating. Now we're going to give these lures a rating out of 100. IB's going to give 50 of those points and I'm going to give 50 of those points. So we're going to give 10 points each for build quality and finish. Super important, you know. Does it look the part? Does it hold together? Absolutely vital for any lure. We're going to give 10 points each for the action of the lure and the ease of use in attaining that action, you know. It's no point having an absolutely fantastic lure if you have to work it furiously, if you have to be a super mega expert to be able to get the most out of it. So that's going to be really important. We're going to give 10 points each for the unique selling points of a lure, the USP, you know. Is this new lure going to fill a gap in your tackle box, or is it just the same as everything else that's already on the market? We think that's really important. You need to have different stuff in your tackle box so you can cover different scenarios, so that's a biggie for us. We're also going to give it 10 points each for how confident we are with the lure. You know, you can have the worst looking lure, it can be the scabbiest looking lure in the tackle box. If you take it out for a couple of sessions and you catch fish on it straight away, you're going to use that lure again, you know, you're going to build up confidence with it. So we're going to let you guys know how confident we are with these new lures after we've used them. The final one, and the real important one for a lot of people, is value for money. You know, I mean, you can only really assess value for money once you've covered those other 4 areas. You know, you can have a really, really cheap lure, but if it's rubbish, it's not great value for money, whereas you go and spend out 30, 40 pounds on a really, really high quality, beautiful swim bait. But if it catches every fish in the lake, I'd say it's pretty good value for money. So after we've assessed the other 4 qualities, we're going to let you know whether we think this is good value for money. At the end of this series of ratings, I'll have a score out of 50, IB will have a score out of 50, and we're going to give you guys a percentage score out of 100, letting you know what we think of this lure out of 100. Makes it really easy to catalogue. So without further ado, it's time to review the very first of the lures in this way. This lure is one of the buzz lures at the moment. I've been waiting to get my hands on a couple of these for ages. It's a Savage Gear 3D snake. Now, if you've been anywhere near social media for the last 4 months, you couldn't have been able to miss these things. Everyone's talking about them, lots of opinion, lots of different views on this one. Who'd have thought that we'd be throwing snakes and bats and frooks and ducks at pike? But actually this whole topwater movement's really taken off and they're effective, they all catch fish, so I'm hoping that the snake's going to be the same. Really interesting bait, 3 different colours, 2 different sizes. There's a 20 centimetre version here which is 25 grams. There's a 30 centimetre version which is 57 grams, so there's a couple of options there depending on the size of the lures you want to throw. Both of these are the 20 centimetre versions, they're the smaller ones. All the trademarks of your normal Savage Gear lure. Finish looks excellent, hooks look good, they look the part, but I have no idea how they're going to fish. So it has gone quite cold, probably not the ideal time to fish top waters, but it's quite a warm day today, we'll give it a go. One thing I will say is it's really windy out there, so I apologise if the quality and the sound isn't very good once we get out there on the lake. I'm going to fish a couple of different venues today. I want to give these guys a real good fair shake, so we'll be moving around a little bit. We'll fish a few different places. Let's see if we can go make the snake work. So first water, and it is a really, really small little lake, this one. There aren't many points to access it, so I'm not anticipating being here too long. But nice shallow lake, bit of weed, lots of nice cover. Could be good for a top water. It could be the ideal place for that snake. Let's give it a go.
First things first, let's just nip the bobs off these trebles. Don't know if you can see that there, but all the hooks are mounted on swivels in the body. That's pretty cool. So when you do hook a fish, it can't use the leverage of the length of the lure to throw the hooks. That's a nice idea. So on top of the new lures, I've also got a new rod today. I don't generally like bringing too much new kits at once, but I've got an Akuma Helios SX spin 8 foot 20 to 50, which should be ideal for throwing these smaller snakes. Let's give it a go. So there's two fixing points on this snake. There's one just under the chin there, and there's one just by the bib. The one under the bib makes it dive a little bit more. The one under the chin turns it into more of a weight bait. So I'm going to see if we can just pull this thing down a few inches in the water.
Jeez, this place is overgrown. It doesn't look like it's been fished for years. I'm absolutely knackered. I've only been fishing an hour, but pushing through all this undergrowth. No, thank you. I can only find 2 spots to get into the water, so I'm gonna head back to the car if I can find it. I'm a bit lost at the moment. And we'll try venue number 2. Absolute killer. Whew. Okay, so venue number 2, and it is absolutely howling out there now. It's so windy. Checked the weather forecast when I came out and it said it definitely wasn't going to rain, but geez, this is brutal. Nice thing about this place, I'll be able to get a little bit closer to the water. There's going to be a few more places for me to make casts. I haven't got to trudge through a jungle like last time. I think I lost about 10 kilos of body weight in the last hour. So hopefully this gives me a better opportunity to put this snake to the test properly. So venue number 2, relatively small lake, bigger than the last one, but still not huge, a couple of acres. I've caught plenty of fish out of here in the past, but I've got here and it is absolutely filthy. You might be able to just tell from the shade behind me, it's really, really mucky. Not ideal for topwater. It may well be that we have to use the slightly brighter fire tiger colour that we've got. But we'll give it a go here for an hour or so before we move on to plan number C. Crikey. Figured out now, it's the attachment under the chin, that one just there, that makes the lure go under the water. So I'm going to switch to that. I've also switched to the brighter bait just because it's so murky. I mean, the water's horrible. I'm not very confident on this place all of a sudden. We usually get a few here, but we'll try this snake, see what it can do subsurface, and we might end up moving on pretty quick. So no fish from venue number 2 there, and to be honest, I'm not shocked by that. The water was really muddy. I've never really seen it that bad. I'm not really sure what's gone wrong there. I'm actually on a complex of smaller gravel pits, and I've just come to the 3rd one down. It's a little bit bigger, it's much deeper, but it's gin clear. It's really weird why that middle one's so dirty, but this one is crystal clear, and there's some really nice stuff around the edge, nice lily pads and stuff. It wouldn't have been my first choice as a topwater venue, but I'm just going to give this a go for 20 minutes or so. I think it's worth a crack. Well, the first GoPro battery's just died, which means I've probably fished for an hour and a half in total so far, and no follows, no takes, no nothing. I don't necessarily think it's the fault of the lure on this one. It's not a top water day, that's for sure. We're going to have another change of location. I think I'm going to try a canal. Just wonder, you know, shallower water. It's a fairly warm day. Maybe they might be a little bit more fired up in some shallower stuff. This place looks absolute money. There's some cracking looking water. No fish to show off so far. Okay, so I made it to the canal. Water clarity is pretty good. It looks quite promising. This is going to be the last roll of the dice. I've just checked the weather forecast and there's a 80 to 90% chance of torrential showers in about an hour and a half's time, which is pretty exciting. So if it's going to happen, it's going to have to happen pretty darn quickly. I'm going to cover lots of water. Cast, cast, cast. That was that, I'm afraid. 85 miles in the car, 15,000 steps walked, and a big fat blank. Yeah, didn't quite go to plan. Didn't really go to plan for you either the day after, did it?
Never does.
So we probably bit off a little bit more than we could chew, taking out one topwater lure.
In October, middle of October.
In the middle of October. Did you have any follows or anything?
No.
No.
I haven't even seen a fish, to be honest.
No, it was pretty much the same for me. I mean, the conditions looked like good pike fishing conditions, but they weren't top water fishing conditions, particularly on the second lake that I went and fished, which was very muddy. That was kind of a banker spot. I wasn't expecting it to be so dirty. But hey ho, it can't be helped. What we have done though is I feel like we've both fished with the lure enough to be able to give pretty good opinions. We've seen it working. We kind of got a feel for it now. So we'll go on to the first category that we're going to be rating on. That's the build quality and the finish. As ever from Savage Gear, it's a beautifully built hard bait. It feels solid. That plastic feels really rugged, doesn't it?
It does. It feels really good. I don't know what kind of plastic it is, but even when, like, as soon as you touch it, it just feels like a good quality plastic. I've
given it a good pull test. The hooks are pretty solid. The split rings haven't moved. None of the joints have moved. So from that side of things, yeah, very, very good. As you'd expect from a big company like Savage Gear, it's built pretty well. I personally thought the finish could have been a little bit more exciting in terms of the realism of it. I mean, it looks fantastic. There's loads of detail, all kinds of little scales and bits and little rattle at the end. But I think Savage Gear finish lures better than this. What do you think?
I think for the amount of joints it is, I can appreciate how hard it would be to finish a lure. So I think it looks great. I really think it looks great. And I think they made more details in the plastic itself rather than the paint job. Because like you can even feel all the curves and everything. Like, yeah, I think they focused more on the plastic, like especially on the back here. I don't know if you can see it, but like there are little ridges done. So yeah, I think, yeah, but I think it's a superb job for a lure with that many joints.
So yeah, I'm perhaps being a little bit harsh here. So there's two sizes in the range. There's a 30 centimetre lure, which is 57 grams, and then there's these, which is the 20 centimetre lure, which I think is 27 grams. And there's only 3 colours. Again, I perhaps thought there could be a few more colours, but we kind of disagreed on that as well.
I think there's more than enough colours. More than enough. No, you don't need 20 different colours for one bait.
So off the back of that, out of 10, I gave the finish and the build quality a 7, because I thought that maybe the paint could have been a bit more exciting. What did you give it?
I gave it a 9. I think for the amount of joints it has, it looks pretty good. It looks really good, yeah. Obviously, I prefer the darker one than the bright one.
Yeah, so the colour we haven't got here is what they call the black adder. It's essentially a black bait, which actually is probably the one out of the 3 that I like to have seen the most. I'm a big fan of quite dark surface baits with that big shadow. It is what it is. We're not going to agree on this one, are we?
No.
We'll move on
Not
quickly.
that we ever do.
The second rating we've given the Savage Gear 3D Snake is for the action and the ease of use. And by that I mean how does it fish, how does it look in the water, and B, how easy is it to get the very most out of it. And as ever with a Savage Gear multi-jointed hard bait, this is the easiest thing in the world to fish. I don't know about you, but I tried a few different things with it. I tried jerking it, I tried popping it, all kinds of stuff. But I thought it fished best when you just cast it and wound it. Really lovely snake-like action. How about you?
Off subject, this is very relaxing just to do that. It's very relaxing. It's like one of the things you can get if you want to quit smoking. No, I think it's very easy to use because you just straight cast out and wind. What I did find difficult with long nails is to hook the wire trace right by the lip. Honestly, I was stood there sweating like God knows what, trying to like from anger because I struggled.
You know, it is a little bit fiddly actually. I haven't got Ieva's very long granulous nails. And on the same area of the lure, part of the reason I've marked this down a little bit in terms of action and ease of use, it's a little bit of a tenuous one. This has the same front end as one of my favourite baits, the Savage Gear Rat. I think that's a fabulous top water bait, really, really effective, a much better bait than people give it credit for. And that has these two different fixing points as well. And with the Rat, when you fix it up against the bib, you can actually get it to dive down to a couple of feet, and I was really hoping that was going to be the same with the snake, that you'd be able to pull this down to perhaps 18 inches, 2 feet. I found with this thing I couldn't do that with any great consistency. I could get it below the surface for a bit, but without changing anything in the retrieve, all of a sudden it would be back up on the surface. I really struggled to get it to fish down consistently. How about you?
To be honest, I didn't experiment as much as you did. All I did, cast it out, wind it. I'm a very simple person. There's no creativity with me.
So, out of 10 for the action of the ease of use, what are you going to say on the snake?
8. I will give it an 8.
Yeah, do you know what?
I will drop the point just because of the fiddly bit.
They didn't think of girls with long nails when they made this, did they? Come on, Savage Gear, sort it out. I gave it an 8 as well. It looks great. It looks so cool in the water. It really does. I hope that came across in the video there. I've marked it down a little bit because I'd have loved to have been able to get this thing a little bit deeper. I wonder if the bigger snake might do that a little bit better.
Yeah, we need to try that.
Yeah. Going back a step or so, I do want to throw in one of my major concerns with this before I cast it was how it was going to cast, you know, with being long and sinuous and all floppy and stuff. I thought it was going to cast terribly, but actually it casts really well. At no point did it tumble in the air, you know, it stayed straight and true. I was really impressed with that, and that's one of the reasons why I've given it a high mark, is that actually I found I could cast this a lot further than I thought I was going to be able to.
And I think the more significant thing is that for the lure of that size, you would be surprised when you first touch it how light it is.
Yeah,
it's ridiculously light.
I can't think of a 20 centimetre lure on the market that's less than 30 grams.
Yeah,
it's quite
really
a big
light.
unit. It's quite a big thing in the water. Yeah, there you go. Answer in the comments if you know of a lure of this length that's lighter on a hard bait. Let us know. Be really interested. So the third criteria in our 100% reviews is the uniqueness of a lure. Is this something that's going to fill a gap in your tackle box? Is it something that we haven't seen before, and is it relevant? I've never seen anything like this. If you like having some unusual stuff in your tackle box, you're going to have one. You're just going to have to buy one, I think, aren't you?
Well, thinking this way, my box doesn't have... My box, that's a bit personal. My lure box does not have anything even remotely similar to that.
It's so cool. It's so different. Fair play to Savage Gear for putting this out there, because they'll get a lot of stick for this, I think, like they did for the bat, which was pretty weird, but again worked. Out of 10, unique?
9.
9, yeah.
Definitely.
I'm going to go the same, actually. Yeah, 9 out of 10. I think that's fair enough.
Just going to keep playing it like the whole day. It's so relaxing. Have you noticed it?
Look into the snake.
You can do that with a wine with me, not with a snake.
Right, so the fourth criteria in the 100% lure challenge is confidence. How confident are you out of 10 that you could tie this lure on and go and catch a fish on it? It's a top water, which straight away means this isn't going to get high marks. I don't know about you guys out there, I don't know about you, perhaps you got a water. I find with top waters, there are certain types of water or certain areas that they work on, and the vast majority of places they don't work on.
I think the thing with this is that's very limited for time of the year you can use it. You know, you can't use it in December and in the water that is 20 foot deep. It's going to be absolutely pointless. So you can't use it all year round. I guess that's my point. So it's kind of limiting you to a certain period of the year where you can use it, and definitely certain type of waters.
But if you were fishing this on the right type of water at the right time of year,
spring in a canal, can you imagine?
you'd be pretty confident, I think. I fancy my chances in the middle of October while it's blowing a hoolie. Definitely not. So this is a difficult one. I found this probably the hardest one to score out of all the criteria.
Yeah, it's almost, you almost feel like unfair scoring it low because it is a beautiful bay.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you know, you can't fish it all year around. It's only limiting you to certain types of waters and certain times of the year where you can fish it.
So I went for 5 out of 10 for this.
I think I went for 5 as well.
With both 5s on it.
Yeah.
As you say, it feels unfair, it feels a bit harsh on the lure, but we're not here to tell you guys what the best topwater lure out there is. We're here to tell you what we think of these lures as a thing to catch predatory fish on. And I don't think I'd be confident on tying this on in the middle of January. So with all that being said, we come to the 5th and final rating, and this, to a lot of people, is the really, really important one. Is this lure value for money, you know? And as I said earlier in the video, I don't think that just comes down to what it costs. So the smaller version, the 20 centimetre, retails at £20.99. The larger version, the 30 centimetre, is £27.99. These are right up there, folks. These are expensive hard baits.
Explains why I didn't buy the big one.
Yes. I can see why they're expensive. There's a lot of work goes into this thing. You know, there's a lot of joints, there's a lot of design, there's some serious R&D. It's a beautiful thing.
It's a well-made lure as well. Like, it is a very well-made lure.
£21 for a lure that, as we've already said, you're probably only going to use for 4 months of the year.
Yeah, and you have to have specific water to use it on as well.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I think just to have one in the box.
Oh, it's a great conversation starter,
Yeah.
I will tell you.
It's one of those things you want in the tackle box. I think it's worth 4 pints of beer to have one of these in your tackle box, or 2 bottles of wine. Crikey, she said yes. It must be good. You know, if you're the kind of person who only has a limited budget to go and buy your pike lures that you want to go out and catch some fish
You're
on,
probably not going to want that.
don't buy it. Don't buy it. There's some great lures on the market that don't cost this much.
Yeah.
If you are a topwater nut, you've got to buy one of these because it's freaking cool. So, on the back of that, again, this is one of those ones that feels a little bit harsh, but we're here to tell you guys the truth about what we think about the lures. I've given this a 4 out of 10 for money.
And we agree again.
You've gone 4 as well?
I've gone 4 as
Jeez,
well.
crikey. So, other than the first one, we actually agreed quite a lot there.
Aww.
I'm glad we got this on video. This never happens. So there we have it, folks. That's the whole review. We've totted up the scores and we've given this lure 68 out of 100, 68%, which actually, on reflection, I think is about right.
Again, you can't really say that it's fair because it's a great lure, but at the same time it is a lure that you can only fish certain types of water on a certain time of the year, and it's quite pricey.
I think the cost there is significant. It's not cheap. It's not going to work for everyone everywhere, but you're going to want one of these in your tackle box if you're serious about your lure fishing, aren't you? I hope you enjoyed that, folks. I hope it's been informative. I hope you got what you want from it. So please let us know in the comment section down below what you think.
Subscribe to our channel, like the video, and if you want to check the lures out, we have linked down below.
Yeah. So if you want to find any more information, or if you want to buy some lures, you'll find links below. Thank you very much for watching the channel, and we'll see you again very, very soon.
Bye.
Snakey snake.
You get your snake away from me.